Good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. I wanted to talk a little bit about this article I was reading coming out of CNBC. They were talking about how the cost of a new home is up $25,000 as far as building a new home goes, and how a lot of these major builders out there are holding off on starting new homes on account of the high building material costs, and they're going to wait for the material price to come down. Now, I found that to be very interesting. Now, these are the major home buyers out there. These are people who recognize what's going on inside of the system. Now, a lot of people are blaming inflation for the high price of lumber. Like, they look at the high price of lumber and they use that as an excuse, like a factual excuse to point out where inflation is. And I have to disagree wholeheartedly. I do not believe that it is inflation that is causing the lumber prices to go up. Now, I did a video not too long ago called The Truth of Lumber Price Rising, or The Truth in the High Price Lumber, something like that. I did it a few weeks ago. It was fairly popular, but not nearly as popular as the video that I put out predicting this exact moment. I put it out 4 weeks ago. I said plywood prices are about ready to go through the roof. To get your hands on it as soon as you can, because the prices are going to be very high. And man, did I nail it. That video is very popular. It's like the second most popular video I've ever done. And now I have so many people telling me, it was just like, you got to believe that it's inflation. And I simply just don't believe it. And I'm not going to believe it. I have so many other reasons. I got 50 reasons to believe why lumber prices are high that do not involve inflation. And now I look out there and I try to say, okay, I'm not pinpointing where I can find inflation. I'm looking for inflation to present itself. Now you can look at lumber and say, there it is, there's inflation. Look how high the prices are. That's it. Case done. Done deal. Don't need to look any further. But yet you don't have to look at trade wars, mill curtailments, bug infestations, wildfires, shutdowns. There was a million reasons why lumber is where it is right now. And it doesn't have anything to do with inflation. Look at the US dollar index. Since the beginning of the year, the US dollar index has done nothing but climb against a basket of world currencies. Okay? If the dollar was devaluing, then you would see that dollar index dropping. But it's not. It's rising. And it's not rising dramatically, but it is going up. It was dropping for a long time. It's been going up since the beginning of the year. Now, I have to look out there and I say, okay, there's a lot of products out there that go into building a house. But lumber is just lumber. It doesn't matter if it's a $6 million mansion or, you know, $1,000 little shed. It's the same 2x4s. It's the same 2x6s. It's the same sheathing that is going into those buildings. It's just how much of it you're buying. But there is no difference. You don't go and buy, like, you know, the premium. I mean, I guess one could go buy premium stuff if they wanted to, but everybody uses the same standard and better lumber. It's just how much of it you buy. That's the only difference in it all. And now I look out there and I say, okay, so lumber is off the charts. What is it that everybody buys that is not moving? And that's where I found it, in the fiber cement siding. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, there's a couple of products that you use for siding. If you want to go high end, they use like cedar shingles or something like that. But most of the houses, the majority of them, use a fiber cement lap siding. It is probably, I couldn't give you a percentage, but it's the majority. It's the majority of homes. And this fiber cement siding, it's inexpensive, it's durable, it's a good product for the Pacific Northwest. We go through pallets and pallets and pallets of this stuff every year. 2016, I just did a quick recall. I went back a few years just to see what we were selling it for. 8 1/4, 12-foot long fiber cement siding we were selling for $7.75. Today, $6.88. And if you want to come buy a whole pallet off of me, I'll give you a little bit of a break. So where's the inflation? This is the most common siding we sell up here. Why hasn't the price gone up? No disruption in supply chain. Maybe a little bit with the price of shipping, but really just a few pennies on each piece, and that really covers the cost of shipping. There was no supply chain breakdown when it comes to fiber cement siding. The price remained the same. It doesn't have anything to do with inflation. We're selling just as much as we did the lumber. It's the siding for the houses. So if you sell the lumber, you're selling the siding. But yet we saw the siding remain low. In fact, I see it even being cheaper. So those are the things I look at. That's the reason why I don't see it as inflation. I've read a lot of documents coming from the Federal Reserve. They are not concerned about inflation one little bit. Not one little bit is the Federal Reserve concerned about inflation. Everybody else out there in the world is concerned about inflation, but not the Federal Reserve. They're worried about deflation. Everything they talk about is concern over deflation. We're going to come into a time here real soon where building materials are going to stop being sold. People are going to stop buying. And it's already happening. You can hear it inside of the major builders right now. And when the materials stop selling, the prices will come down. They have not stopped making the stuff. But the selling of it is going to slow down. $58 a sheet CDX is unreal. It should be selling for around $20. So even if it was to drop by 50%, we are still talking incredibly high sheathing prices. But it could have a 50% drop from here and still be incredibly high. You see where I'm getting at, guys? The prices are off the charts insane. They should not be here, and they won't be here. Things that cannot go on forever won't. You know, just look at some of the other building materials. Look at felt. You know, a lot of people don't use 15-pound felt anymore. They use other types of house wraps. But just look at 15-pound felt. It's the most common house wrap out there, vapor barrier there is out there. And the price of it has hardly changed at all. Over the course of like 5-6 years, the price has hardly changed. I remember selling it for $29. I think I sell it for $33 now. A 15-pound 4-square roll of ASTM felt, asphalt impregnated felt. Some of these things are not changing. It's because there was no disruption to the supply chain. Lumber had a huge, huge disruption to the supply chain. From China to Russia to Canada to the United States, the whole thing was disrupted. It's no wonder to me why the prices are so high. But blame it on inflation if you like. Anyway, guys, I guess I'm just going to let it go there. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to add? Anyway, I'll leave links down in the description to that article for CNBC. Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.